Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Wi-Fi battle. Today we have week 5 of the NGDL3 versus Qwilliams. And looking at his team, there was one thing that did actually surprise me knowing his full draft lineup, and that was the fact that he decided not to bring his Mega Altaria. Other than that, nothing I didn't expect. And looking at my team, I did actually decide to bring the last Pokemon that I drafted that I have not used yet in the draft league, that being my Articuno. Everything else is pretty familiar, and going into this match, I am actually 2-2, whereas my opponent is actually 4-0. So another really good player, another difficult test this week should definitely be another good one, and we're going to get into it. So, looking at his team, I really wasn't sure what he was going to want to lead with. He definitely has a lot of solid options there, but he actually ends up leading with the Electrode, as I decided to lead with my Articuno. So my pressure is going to come into play right away, and here I decide to stay in turn 1 because I do have a little bit of a plan I'm working on. He actually goes for the Volt Switch, actually does get a crit, which is very unfortunate for me, but I do survive that in the red with 23 HP, and off the mandatory switch he is going to come in with Victini, as I decide to go for the Tailwind, which is going to go ahead and increase the speed of all of my Pokemon for a few turns. So this turn he actually does outspeed me, which is a surprise to me. It is confirmation that he is not only Choice Scarf, but actually max speed as well. So he is just going to go for a V-Create, which is going to be more than enough to finish off my Articuno, dropping me down to 5 Pokemon. So then I am going to come in with Alakazam. And I am going to outspeed him because of the Tailwind. I actually go for the Focus Blast here, predicting a switch on his side, but he does stay in, unfortunately, and that only takes him down by about a third, as he is actually going to go for another V-Create here, since, again, he is Choice Scarf. That is going to drop me all the way down to my Focus Sash, but I do survive because of it. And that is going to cut his speed defense and special defense once again. But really a rough start to the match for me here, as this turn he actually is going to go for the switch that I predicted initially out into his Sneasel, as I decided to go for the Shadow Ball this time, so not going to do much of anything there to him. I do get the special defense drop, which is nice, but unfortunately that is going to be it for my Tailwind as well. So I am going to go for the switch here directly into my Snorlax, predicting the Ice Shard, which he does go for. So not going to do hardly anything there. I am thick fat, so I do resist that. And then I am going to regain some health with the Leftovers. So here he is going to go for the switch, doesn't want to take an attack from me, so he is going to come in with the Sawk, as I am going to go for the Body Slam here to get damage on whatever he leaves in. That does take him down by about 3/4, which was actually pretty nice, and then I am going to regain the rest of my health with the Leftovers. But this turn I do have to switch out. I really don't want to get taken out with a fighting attack here, so I am going to switch back in with my Alakazam as fodder, as he is just going to go for the Close Combat, which is going to be more than enough to finish off my Alakazam here, as it does cut both of his defenses, but that is going to drop me down to 4 Pokemon. So then I am going to come in with Goodra, and he is going to go for the switch here, doesn't want to take an attack from me, lose his Sawk, so he is going to come in with the Roserade, as I do go for the Sludge Bomb here, which is not going to do too much damage to this thing, and then he is going to regain some health with the Black Sludge. So this turn he does outspeed me, and he's actually going to go for a Toxic Spikes to go ahead and get that set up on me, as I am going to fire off a Flamethrower in return, just trying to get as much damage as possible. That is going to knock him down to about a third of his health, and then he does regain more health with the Black Sludge. So he is actually going to go for a Synthesis this turn to go ahead and put himself back up to almost full HP, unfortunately. I did go for a Draco Meteor here, actually predicting a switch on his side, but he did stay in, and he actually does barely survive that in the red off a critical hit on my side. That is going to harshly lower my special attack, unfortunately, as he does regain more health with the black sludge. So that is going to force me to switch out. I know I really can't do anything more to this thing right now with the special attack drop. So I am going to come in with my Aggron, as he does go for another synthesis, and that is going to put him back up to about 3/4 health, and then he does regain more from the black sludge. So this turn I am going to go straight for the Mega Evolution into Mega Aggron. And he is just going to go for the spikes this turn to go ahead and get that entry hazard set up on me even farther, which is unfortunate. I am just going to go for the Stealth Rock to get the entry hazard of my own set up on his side, knowing this thing can't really do anything to me. He is going to regain even more health from the black sludge there. And in this turn, he is just going to go for the second layer of spikes. So that is not good at all for me. This turn, though, I am just going to go straight for the Ice Punch, hoping to take him out, which, fortunately, that is going to be enough damage to take out the Roserade, dropping him to 5 Pokemon. So then he is going to come back in with Victini and take some damage from the rocks. And he is just going to go straight for the V-Create once again. But I am max physical defense on the Aggron, so I am able to survive that with about 1/3 of my health, as he does get the speed, defense, and special defense stat reductions again, and I am just going to fire off an Earthquake in return, which is going to be more than enough to finish off the Victini, dropping him down to 4 Pokemon. So Aggron trying to get me back into this thing, as now he is going to come back in with the Sock and take some damage from the rocks. And he is definitely going to outspeed me. He is just going to go for a close combat, and it is going to cut his defense stats once again, but unfortunately is going to be enough to finish off my Aggron, dropping me down to 3 Pokemon. So then I am going to come in with my Hitmonlee, and I am going to get poisoned off the Toxic Spikes, as well take some damage from the regular spikes. And he is going to go for the switch here. He doesn't want to lose his Sock once again, so he is going to switch in with the Electrode, as I actually do predict the switch and go for the knockoff. So unfortunately he does survive that in the red, which does suck. I do get rid of his Life Orb there, and I do take some damage from the poison. So I'm going to go for the switch here. I do want to try and conserve my Hitmonlee at this stage in the game, so I am going to come in with my Goodra once again, and unfortunately get poisoned by the spikes and take damage from the other spikes, as he just goes for a Discharge, so not going to do much of anything there. I am max special defense with an Assault Vest, and I am going to take some damage from the poison. So here he is going to go for the switch. Nothing really he can do to me with the Electrode, so he is going to come in with the Gliscor, take some damage from the rocks, and I am just going to go for a Flamethrower, trying to play it safe here at this point. That is going to knock him down to about half health, which was good. I'm going to take more damage from the poison, and the Toxic Orb's actually going to poison him as well. So he is just going to go straight for the attack here, going for an Earthquake, trying to take me out. Luckily for me, I am able to survive that in the red with 6 health and fire off a Draco Meteor in return. And that is going to be enough to take out the Gliscor. I'm going to have my special attack harshly lowered once again, but that is going to drop him down to 3 Pokemon. And then unfortunately, I am actually going to go down to the poison this turn, dropping me down to 2 Pokemon. So we both get a blind switch in here. He is going to come back in with the Sock, as I am going to come back in with the Hitmonlee. So he is going to take damage from the rocks, as I am going to take some damage from the spikes once again. And that is going to force him to switch out here. He still really wants to conserve that Sock, so he is going to come in with the Electrode and just barely survive the Stealth Rock switch-in damage, which is actually bad for me, because I do go for the Fake Out. I do get the normal gem activated to trigger my Unburden, which is going to finish him off, dropping him down to 2 Pokemon, but I do end up taking damage from the Aftermath effect, which really does hurt me in the long run here. So I do take more damage from the poison, as he does switch in with the Sneasel and take damage from the rocks, as I do go for a switch here back into my Snorlax, predicting the Ice Shard again. I am going to get poisoned by the Toxic Spike and take damage from the spike, as he does go for the Ice Shard, which again is not going to do much of anything to me. And then I am going to regain some health from the leftovers and take some damage from the poison. So here he's definitely going to outspeed me, and he actually goes for a low kick here, which was definitely a little bit of a surprise, and just as much of a surprise, it is actually enough to take my Snorlax out from almost full, which really sucks for me. That is just going to drop me down to 1 Pokemon. So finally, I am going to come back in with Hitmonlee, and I just barely survived the Spike's damage with 2 HP, which is going to let me go for a Fake Out to take out the Sneasel, dropping him down to 1 Pokemon. But unfortunately, I am going to go down here to the poison damage this turn, and that is game. So I lost that 1-0 to Qwilliams, but that was a really close game, really competitive. Definitely could have gone either way, as pretty much all my games have thus far, but the entry hazard stacking up definitely cost me there in the end. But thanks for watching, and everybody, hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new battles in the future. So that's it, and we'll see you next time.